Hola Madridistas, welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. Again, friendly reminder if you're new here, smash the likes, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 2K. But yeah, man, a spirit lifting win. Not gonna lie, it wasn't pretty, wasn't enticing. So many of our big players went missing. Um, so many of our big players had their metals tested, especially mentally. They had to really hone it down, look forward, look towards the greater good. Instead of getting carried away with with emotion. I'm not liking certain individuals. We're talking about our golden boy. I expect a lot more from him, especially when it comes to temperament. But it is what it is. I guess he has been learning a bit more Spanish, maybe probably getting a bit more riled up due to some of the events that unfold from game to game. But the feeling towards the entire game is kind of mixed. I don't know how exactly to feel because Alaves was really looking forward to I don't know what this game because a team like Alaves, right? If they have any sort of pride in them, they would at least, I mean, at the minimum, look for a draw, right? To look for a draw against a Real Madrid side that has been, let's be honest, despite our shortcomings, have been firing on almost all cylinders throughout the season. To at least guarantee a draw, they should score first. So at least the minimum initiative from Alaves was clearly lacking. I don't get it at home with a crowd that never gave up. It just really questions me what La Liga is about. Days like this really questions, what La Liga is about because you won't see that in the Premier League. I'll tell you that. On a night like this, where we are up, we are up for the taking, right? We are kind of backed into a corner, looking to, we are during phases of the game, we are actually doubting our own ability. Teams in the Premier League, they would take advantage of that, but I didn't see any of that from Alaves. I know they've been struggling, winless in their last three games, whatnot. Bottom half team. They made it difficult. I'm gonna give that to them, but yeah, they didn't show any courage, any initiative to win the game. But that kind of paved the pathway for us nicking top spot in La Liga. Girona dropping points today. We had to capitalize. We did. I was thinking throughout the game, oh boy, this is one of those games. We again, look ourselves with a chance to go top, and then we fumble it. But thankfully, you know, one particular man came up with all the goods that was required. To contrary in contrary with someone else's beliefs on this panel, this man has come up clutch again. But Mo, I'm gonna leave that out for the intro and be more more polite and a bit more friendly. Christmas cheer is on us. I'm not gonna pile on you, but I'll wait my turn. Yeah, but big up the panel, big up the chat, big up Mo, big up Doris, big up Farouk. I'll come to you, Mo, first. Quick thoughts, man. Big win. It
Yeah,
was a
man.
must-win game for us.
Once you invoke the Christmas spirit, I have to also follow it. So right now, I'm gonna, as you requested, no reaction, like no arguing. I'm gonna be the what do you say, the example
Peacemaker.
of peacefulness. Mahatma Gandhi. So yeah, as for the match, man, you summed it up very well. The thing is like
Yeah,
today Real Madrid seemed to lack a lot of intensity. And we're gonna go into the game in detail, but right now I think that would be the best way, and it's sort of understandable. When the team is playing so many games, week in week out. So you can sort of understand it, especially because we're short-handed, right? Like I think somebody said we are lacking like 8 out of 11 starters. So the weight of responsibility and the physical load on these players is like humongous. So you sort of understand when in some games they simply cannot perform, and this is the last game of the year. There's probably they are also in the holiday spirit, as you said, and probably ready to go back with their families. I already saw Courtois was like in Dallas with his wife, so the rest of them probably their minds are elsewhere as well. So, but credit to
100%.
professionalism. After Nacho gets sent off, these guys stepped up and
Yeah.
somehow they got the win.
Nacho is another topic that I don't want to spoil this mood I'm in, this vibe I'm enjoying right now. but I have to get into Nacho at some point. Yeah, it's a slight dampener on an otherwise, very cheerful night, especially with the result, not the performance, the result. Um, Big up Mo, yeah, that was pretty precise. But Doris, man, a bit of a hiatus. I know you've been busy, yeah, but tell me your thoughts, man. Like, how has Christmas, holiday season, been approaching for a while? Have you been catching up the results? Did you expect us to be on top Christmas time?
Um, Not really, but
Mm,
and this performance tonight did not convince me
mm,
any more.
mm.
Uh, so close to actually, getting a draw out of this, which is, I guess, you could say embarrassing, because Girona getting a draw against Betis is, not the same as us, drawing to Alaves, but
Yeah,
we move, we move. It's 3 points, so of course that's good. But last few games, I haven't really been able to really fully concentrate on them because I was working as they were going. But I'm not convinced, that we are the top of the league, kind of team, that we are so good, that, or that I would even, say that this is one of our best seasons, But any season that we win a league, for us is something, it's not something that we usually focus on, so it's of course a very positive thing, that we are top of the league. And also, Barca and Atletico being quite a few points uh
adrift. Yeah,
in it, yeah.
yeah,
So it's
helps. Mm.
refreshing, yeah.
There you go. There you go. I know, you can really look at this game. You can't really look at this game and say that, yeah, like we really have one hand on the trophy, which is more often than not the trend with the Christmas champions, if I dare may say. But a big up Doris, man. Farouk, initial thoughts? I know this isn't your cup of tea. You would have preferred, the more expansive, the 4-0, 5-0 thrashings of yesteryear, where we, take advantage of Alaves really lacking any sort of cutting edge and go for them. But tonight we had to be a little more, pragmatic, think about the greater picture, and I guess we did in a way, did we?
What
Farouk?
is the greater picture though?
Bigger
When you're
picture
gonna
is winning the league.
when you're gonna play the next game on the third of January, which is basically how many days away? 13, 14 days away. So
Hmm.
what's the bigger picture? There is nothing
Winning the
actually.
league is the bigger picture.
Yeah,
Farouk.
but when this is a step towards winning the league. If you're gonna play Alaves, who has 4 victories in their home, and you're gonna have 9 shots with an expected goal of I think one or whatever the hell it was, like what are you talking about? Like, I mean, there is no bigger picture. It's just horseshit. And I totally agree with Doris. Like when you watch this game, like there is no. It's just like two mid-table teams competing against each other. Like just to remove the names of the badges and everything. It's just like one team is overpriced and the other one is underpriced, and they're just two mid-table teams competing against each other. But like like definitely, as Doris said, like this game did not give any sort of confidence. Like across the past weeks, actually, we've been improving, honestly. And I said on the last episode, even on the preview, that Carlo had done a phenomenal job. But then today again reminds me again is that this is the very reason why I don't want this person managing the team that I support. This is just the thing.
Farouk, I'll stay with you. Yeah, like what if this is sort of one of those games? Every year we have those kind of games closer to Christmas or closer to New Year, where we kind of look off the pace. Players are looking fatigued. Jude Bellingham, for once, he looked really, gassed up. Um, players looking elsewhere. Probably their attention on getting some time off, just spending some time with their fam and whatnot. But can't you consider this one of those games? Because Farouk, let's be honest. the games leading up to this, apart from that draw we had, we looked pretty decent.
Yeah, definitely. They looked pretty decent. And, like, I think even if I'm not mistaken, like, I think Mo was the one who brought this up. I can't remember about the fact that the match day 18 has always been really, bad for Real Madrid, like, historically. But the point is, if I'm also more correct me because I can't remember exactly what we discussed, but also the teams we played in that period was Villarreal, was, Osasuna, at Bilbao. Those were the teams we played in that period. So those are teams that even if you drop a point against them, it's fine because like these are the cream of the crop of Spain. It's not playing Alaves who has 3 points away from home. Put there, I think 14, 15, 16, whatever it is that they are. You can have a bad day where like, you have 20 shots on target, the goalkeeper is in the form of his life. But tell me one chance we had in the game.
I'll tell you one chance, one clear-cut chance. Well, Rodrigo had to work his ass off for it, but yeah, the Kroos-Rodrigo combination.
Thank you very much. You used the perfect word. He had to work his ass off because he had to create something out of nothing. Which is basically
all the great players, sometimes they have to take responsibility and create a chance out of nothing, man. That's how football works.
If that's the case, then let's have let's just have an exile of, Paris.
You really can't expect,
and then,
some nights like this.
It's not about expect, what not to expect. It's about when it starts becoming a pattern rather than the exception. This is the issue.
The pattern this season, at least, Farouk, has been that we can really create some really intricate passages of play and, really dominate oppositions. Like what we showcased against Villarreal at home last week.
But in my opinion, at least the way I've seen things, that's an exception rather than the norm.
Oh my God! Look.
Well, come on. How did Jude make his name in this in the short 17-18 matches he had played? By bailing the team out, scoring scrappy goals, being there when there's a rebound to put in the back of the net. Like, I mean, come on, are we watching the same team or like are we seeing the same things?
Well, I have to agree with that. But yeah, like he has bailed us out, but there has been some performances where we have showcased our mettle. Right?
Keyword being some.
Some, yeah. Not every. We can't be prime 2016-17 Real Madrid every season, can we? Or prime 2009 Barcelona, can we? Treble-winning City.
No one is asking for that, So the point is, I am saying this, at least from the way the thing is that I will take a loss against Alaves if I know that my boys showed up and played their very best, but they lost. But the point is now, you come up and you don't play anything, and then you get your 3 points and you go, and then what? Eventually, like, I'm not getting paid to do this. On the counter side, I am paying to watch this. I am paying to support these guys. I am putting my time to support these guys. And I always say it, for me, it's an entertainment. If I don't get entertained, then what's the point?
I respect your stance, man, honestly, because, it surely has some weight to the argument, like you can't really pile on Farouk on a night like this. If we won 3-0 and Farouk still said this, I would have a different approach to how I tackle Farouk's thoughts on our side. But I completely agree on some of your points that tonight wasn't a night for entertainment. But I take solace, I take pride in the fact that yes, it wasn't great, but that's what champions do. That's what teams who go on to do big things in March, April, May, where the trophies of the big years, the trophies that has actual depth to it matter. Those are the months where we have to showcase what we are made of. And I guess I judge teams on what they do then, but I completely understand where you come from because we have to set a tone, right? And this wasn't exactly a game where we really can tell people that, oh yeah, there you go. We are the winter champions for a reason. I completely understand. Big up the chat. Big up every single one of you in the comment section as well. If you're new here, again, subscribe to the channel. Smash the likes. I'll get to a few comments more if you can help me out before we, come to you. Ashley was mentioning, just when I thought we don't deliver much from set pieces, especially corners these days, Vasquez, of all people, scores the winning goal from the corner. Man, I was talking to Francesco. If people don't know, Francesco is Carlos' assistant, and I have the immense pleasure to be, sometimes, hitting him up And I actually asked him, like, was it tactical, coach? A 5'7" guy attacking, the set piece where we need a goal, and he basically winked. So that means probably there was kind of a thought process in which Vasquez was deployed as a decoy, and it worked. One of those occasions where luck favors the brave, I guess. But man, he had to come up clutch, and Vasquez did exactly that. PK Hull was mentioning Lord Lucas, 100%, man. Days like this really, drives home the Lord narrative. Hassan was mentioning Lord Vasquez has rocked my world. They probably would, to be honest. I'm not sure what he means by that. Probably alluding to one of our takes on the previous conversation with Farouk. Hassan was also mentioning if, I don't know, Nottingham Forest, we are drawing 0-0 with a 10-man Man City, they'd probably think it's best to shut up shop and play for a draw and not risk anything. I guess so, Hassan. I guess so. Probably, I don't know. I expect a lot more from Alaves. At least some cutting edge, even on the couple of occasions they had. I mean, to ask much of Ian Haji, I guess is a bit of a travesty, but it is what it is. I guess you have a point. I'll come to you, Mo. Farouk has had his say, right? Let's bring it back to some of the positive thoughts from the game, right? Some of the better performance.
Before you go positive, I just want to say one thing. You said that this is not Farouk's cup of the water. I think that was a massive understatement. This was not even Farouk's bath water.
fair. That really. Yeah, this is Farouk. This is what Farouk loves to watch, right? Like, this isn't something Farouk would subject himself to. I know Farouk very well over the last 3-4 years, and he doesn't shy away from voicing what sort of football he would rather watch, especially so close to Christmas, where he wants to be in the spirit. This wasn't something that he would watch, but more, man. Some of the better performances, let's look at that first. Yeah, Toni Kroos, again, magnificent.
I think while Toni Kroos was definitely magnificent, I think we need to highlight the fact that Lucas Vasquez was good both defensively and offensively.
Oh, we're gonna get into that, okay?
Yeah, I mean, Lucas Vasquez was good, so you have to give him credit, right?
Both ways as well.
Sorry.
Both ways as well. Going back,
that's what I said. Both ways, offensively and defensive, because I think he set the tone at the start. He was like winning balls everywhere. Even he defended pretty well. He marshaled his flank. I think the guy Rabah was from Alaves.
Morocco, I guess.
Yeah, Moroccan international. I think is he a Moroccan international or is he just a Moroccan?
I don't think he has played for the national team. I'm not sure, but
he's been called up a couple of times, but he actually hasn't started or played any game yet.
Oh, okay. So regardless, I think he gets called up to the national team, so he deserves respect. So I think Lucas Vasquez did well marshalling him, although some chances the winger won, but Lucas Vasquez overall I thought he was pretty good. He did his job well. And apart from that, even Antonio Rudiger, I think he did a stellar job, especially after Nacho got sent off. He was literally like the lone senior centre back. Tchouaméni came in and did a bit of work, but I think Rudiger deserves immense credit because I think at times it felt like he was the only guy defending. He was the only centre back, and you could look at him and be like, yeah, this guy is the centre back. The rest of the others aren't there, and he still managed to do what Rudiger does every game. I was actually reading this comment on Reddit that said that the team with the least amount of senior defenders is the team with the best defensive record in the league. So
that's mad.
I think crazy. I guess we can say we ended the game with just 2 defenders in Fran Garcia and Rudiger. Maybe Lucas Vasquez, if you want to consider him a pure right back. 3 defenders. That's all we have in this team, and for us to be leading the league in the the least amount of goals let in. So I think that's something that you really need to appreciate. And as you said, Kroos was also pretty brilliant. But I'll let you praise Kroos.
I mean, come on, man. Nothing that Dani Ceballos can do. Come on.
There you go. Speak your mind, Doris. Go in on him. I've no time for this. Dani Ceballos praise.
Who was it? Who was it? Who said it?
It was Mo.
It wasn't. Well, never speak ill of Lucas Vasquez.
No, man, I wasn't speaking ill of Lucas Vasquez. I said Dani Ceballos is better technically, and I still stand by that.
Okay.
They,
Okay. Let's move on. We're trying to keep this short. This could be a long conversation.
yeah, exactly.
Man,
I don't
you
want. I
can
don't
learn
want to.
something from Doris. She's more mature than you.
Oh, okay, okay. Is that what maturity is? Then I don't want to be a part of it because like I want to speak what I feel. But yeah, man, big up Doris for backing me up. Sometimes I wonder which side she's on, but she's definitely on the right side this time. But Vasquez, man, again, I'm gonna reiterate moments where someone cries out for to to be a hero, yeah, to save a game, to be the difference. He just steps up, whether it be by coincidence, whether it be by him just being in the right place, right time, whether it be by just pure passion, right, pure character, pure determination, to make a difference. Lucas Vasquez has throughout the years been, the guy people look up to. People would wonder, like how would he with his. Let's be honest. Like, yeah, for the memes, I would fight with more for who is more technically adept. Yeah, Lucas Vasquez is far behind Danny Ceballos. Let's be honest. Like, I can hold my hands up and admit it even
Hallelujah.
now.
Hallelujah.
But the very fact is, for me, what technical ability is about is what you make a difference on the pitch, right? No matter if you have the skills of Maradona or Pele, but you can't really do anything much with it. I can't really vouch for that. You know, what I can vouch for is what I can see him making a difference, and that's why Lucas Vasquez for me is going to be, at least a couple of galaxies away from what Danny Ceballos is, at least at this moment, and for him, a 5'7", 5'8", like he's as tall as me, right? To him, for him to be attacking a corner and actually getting like a good contact on it. Let's be honest, it wasn't the clearest of contacts, but he just managed to get enough on it to beat the keeper and completely bamboozle the tall, lanky guys who were trying the best to mark guys like Jude and Rudiger. And again, I would like to pick up Carlo, right? Lucas Vasquez can probably be, usually be deployed as the guy who covers up for a counter in case the corner routine goes horribly wrong. But probably, I guess, it was an instruction from the bench because of Alaves' lack of initiative as well. They could really, you know, go balls to walls to nick a result, which was again really really important. Um,
I mean,
but
I
yeah,
would
man.
just to back up your points. I think I would also like to
Gone.
point out the fact that they used the same strategy with Carvajal previously. If you remember the Sevilla game,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
Carvajal appeared, in the half, like in between defenders and scored. So I think
Mm,
this is a tactic that they have used before as well, and he just keeps on paying dividends. I think Carvajal,
mm,
before the Chelsea game, we all thought Carvajal, aerially is probably not the best, but in that
mm.
Chelsea game in the Champions League, centre back Carvajal really showed up, and
Oh yeah.
like throughout the season we have seen that again this season again, him scoring headed goals. But this is something we didn't really expect of Lucas Vasquez, and you rightly said that when it comes to heart, when it comes to determination, there is like nobody who I would rather have over Lucas Vasquez when it comes to those qualities. So this guy is like, even like, he showed over and over again. When you think of Lucas Vasquez, you always think of the 2016 Champions League final, him walking up to the penalty spot with the ball spinning on his finger. How cool is that? Like, I mean, people wish they had a moment like that. So, Lucas Vasquez, immense
That's
credit.
gonna be forever etched in history. People are gonna watch that a million times over. Simple as generations to come are gonna watch that. Um, but Doris, man, anything to add on Vasquez? Match winner for the day.
Um, First half I thought he was really good.
Mm,
Second half he disappeared for moments, but that is, you know, I guess expected, from a game where you have Nacho, getting a red card for absolutely no reason, but I guess we'll talk about it. So I don't think that this will be a game, to judge him for what he created, but for the situation that we were in, I think he did, obviously magnificent, since he, we still kept a clean sheet, and he scored a goal. So what else could you ask from him? And that is also with the 10 men and many by his side.
Yeah. There you go. He really had to, roll his sleeves up for the game. He wasn't really tested as he wasn't facing an Mbappe, for instance, but still he had to, do his, due diligence, to come out the game as someone who rarely put a foot wrong. But Farouk, man, again, closing thoughts. Lucas Vasquez, time and time again, he steps up.
Yeah, I mean, more rather than closing thoughts, I was expecting, a boxing match between you and Mo today, and then it's all like,
Man, it's Christmas. It's Christmas.
kisses and hugging.
I mean, bro,
like,
it was a
what the
win.
hell,
It was a
man?
win. So I really
What the
can't
hell?
fight
I
anyone
mean,
today.
the game was boring. At least you guys, should give us entertainment. At least
Farouk, yeah, man.
let's go
Look
to
at
bed
you.
happy.
Look at you. You're
Come
watching
on,
for two of your brothers to go into war. That's not the right mentality. We want to be stepping into Christmas.
Bro,
And over
don't you have
Christmas, man,
siblings?
Farouk, be ashamed, man.
Farouk, honestly, Farouk is totally. Farouk comes
Bro.
from a land where people are called, glory
No,
or
Farouk-
gift from God.
Farouk is a Christmas Grinch.
Like Nigerians have names. But that's like I've heard like friends who was named like Glory, right? Like there was this girl who was named Glory. Like they have names with such positive vibes, yet he wishes his best mates fight each other to death. Like I don't get it, Farouk, especially on a night like
Bro,
this.
that's what we live for. You start fighting, we open a YouTube live and start collecting bets, man. Survival of the fittest.
It doesn't sit with me, man. But you do you.
Everybody else took the good vibes. Farouk was left alone.
There you go. Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
boy,
man,
Lucas Vasquez, like as you guys rightly pointed out, like he stepped up, when it matters the most, and and you guys also rightly pointed out, that like it's something that it's not just coincidence anymore, because we've seen with Stanley Carvalho before, popping into these positions, during set pieces and all what is not. So yeah, and away from that, as you rightly pointed out, like it's not just about the goal in itself; it's about the fact that Lucas Vasquez was one of the few players who was actually trying to force something, at least offensively throughout the whole game, because like defensively there wasn't a lot to do anyways. Like honestly, like he was, I think, alongside Brian, one of the few people who were actually trying to force things to happen offensively, and I think that's one of the great advantages of Lucas Vasquez. But then again, Vasquez,
his combination down the right, Farouk, is underrated. Let's be honest. He combines really well with anyone. I really like that about Lucas Vasquez. Like he has a knack for when to go, when to stay.
When to go, when to stay, not necessarily, but I think like the combination you mentioned is something that I would totally agree on, because I feel like, and also like let's not forget, like Lucas Vasquez is primarily an attacker. Also, there is that understanding there that
plays into it.
But I think one thing also that we can also see sometimes, actually today, like Vasquez goes forward and like there is no one to actually find the ball. This is one of the problems that continues to bog this team, and how will that be solved, or lack thereof? Well, again, luckily for us, he was at the right place at the right time to, at least negate any worries that might have happened if the goal had not come, or what is not. But yeah, like Lucas Vasquez deserves his flowers today.
100%. Let me read a few of the comments more if you can help me out. Marcus winning, a bigger Marcus. Regular, absolute regular around these spots. He was mentioning Nacho so careless. No wonder he is the fourth choice centre back. I guess it's time we delve into it, people. I wanted to focus on the positives, but I guess this is a nice segue into what Nacho is about. Well, this is, I guess, fourth red card. I'm going by the commentary again. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not the stats guy, but I just remember what gets fed into me, right? But fourth red card of his career, 2 in the same season, that is this season, right? It's not looking great. But I really have to wonder, right? Like even the tackle against Girona, it didn't really happen in an instance where his team's fortunes were on the line, right? His team's fortunes were on the line, and it's looking a bit peak. We are under the cosh. we are getting, dominated left, right, and center, losing it, I guess, I can find much more reason to it, right? But what he did tonight on the halfway line against an attacker who barely gave him trouble, why was it necessary to go in like that, right? And he has an edge to him where like I remember like a few episodes back, especially the Girona post match, if I recall, when I thought, yeah, Nacho had an edge to him, but he manages to conceal it in a way where he doesn't, where he can often get away with it. He can really probably get away with nasty challenges. That's what I've always had, the impression regarding Nacho. But tonight again, it reiterates like how much he's just completely loses his temperament. He loses his way. More like, talk to me, man. Like, how can you reason with that? He knows, right? The trenches are pretty barren, right? Um, the amount of personnel we have to cover for him is pretty barren, right? Even with the academy, you really have to dig deep to find people, maybe from Joan LA to bring up. Um, I don't know where we go from here, man. Mallorca at home on paper is arguably an easier fixture, but really, come on, man, this is just unacceptable.
First of all, I think I disagree with you on Mallorca at home being an easy fixture. I think over the past 2 seasons they have been a good team, so
Oh yeah.
it's definitely not going to be easy. But then on the flip side of it, somebody said on Reddit, I was just talking to them, and they said that maybe Nacho is just being a good captain. He's trying to force the board to bring in a player. But jokes aside, I think you have a point about Nacho being reckless today. That tackle wasn't needed, and I think the commentary team I was watching, they were saying that in these situations he shouldn't be doing that tackle. But then you just look at it, he kind of like hit the player on the Achilles, so I think it was a totally deserved red card. The first time I saw it, the replay, I was like, why isn't VAR intervening in this one, because this one looks like a clear red.
I literally wrote it down. He was lucky to not walk away with a red, and then they review it, and I was like, I knew it.
Yeah,
It's so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, it was obvious, and I think it was a good decision. We can't really be complaining about it, although there were
No
some
way.
other decisions in the game that I thought the ref was like kind of iffy. But
Ref was idiotic.
yeah, but this one wasn't where I would complain. And being the captain of Real Madrid, Nacho is the captain, and I think he knows what being a Madridista means more than any of us. So I think this guy, you really have to trust him to do his stuff. And most occasions he has stepped up, but today I think it was like one of the rare times that I've seen him, let his team down, because that wasn't something I expected from Nacho. Like you said, he can be rash at times, but Nacho has always had the sensibility to judge the game and decide what to do. But stepping up and being aggressive in the tackles is his game. I think most of you guys would agree with that. And he's always been a front foot defender. I remember Ancelotti used to use a term when he came here that Nacho is like too pessimistic. He's always like thinking the worst and attacking the ball aggressively. So I think that is who Nacho is. And you're absolutely right about the 4 red cards. So in his career, although that's not at the level of Sergio Ramos, but 2 red cards in a season is like kind of high. Especially when you look at the tackle that he made against Girona, that was a bad tackle, and today again another bad tackle. So I hope, I rather hope that, Nacho can improve from here, especially in a new time when we don't really have center back options. And, with the news coming in that Real Madrid haven't decided what they're going to do, I hope this, this forces the board's hand, and they kind of bring a center back, and center back in.
Rafa Marin tonight, I was impressed with what I saw. He really held his own.
I mean, we've had this discussion before as well, right? We don't necessarily need to bring a top of the line center back. We don't really need to bring in Bastonis right now. All we need is a body who can cover, and I think Rafa Marin did himself well. He gave a good account of himself today.
Marshall Jude well, Marshall Rodrigo well. He, I guess, can probably, stamp himself into a squad, with Alaba missing as well. But Doris, anything to add on Nacho?
Not much more other than, for a senior player like him doing this basically a halfway line for no reason
Mm.
against an opponent that really isn't really deserving of a red card, I would say. Uh, just embarrassing for him. And I love Nacho, but this is the kind of moments that way you just do not great for his um not great for his maybe for perception in Ancelotti's eyes.
Yeah.
I would say. And at the point of the season where both Alaba and Militao, both of our first choice defenders, are injured, he has to do more, and this is just ridiculous from him. And if this was any other game, I'll be pissed, absolutely pissed, because
100%.
we are lucky that we have a little break now, and Militao will probably be back, but we shouldn't be in this position now. We only have Rodrigo, which is absolutely crazy that we only have one defender left. And I guess we'll see what happens.
100%, man. Like I completely agree with you.
And it's
this
pretty
is
bad that we have to throw Militao out, straight into
yeah.
the game.
I don't
You
think
kind of have to, because Champions League is coming up in February, so we will still need to do that. But there
you
was
have a
time,
point.
there was
I don't
time.
think we'll do that, but I'm not sure about Militao's timeline. Like it's looking great. He might probably join with us a little earlier than expected. That's what I feel like from what I read. But the thing is, this is kind of basically accelerating his re-inclusion for no reason. This is just self-inflicted.
Exactly.
I don't really know what to say regarding Nacho's decision to get himself sent off twice in the same season. But yeah, man, Farouk, Nacho, I guess like what Mo said, this is what you expect from Nacho, right? But like we can really question his. I know it's kind of impulsive. This happened in the rush of the moment. Blood to the brain. You just override your conscience at times. But we are in a situation that really is troublesome.
Definitely, man. I mean, the point is right now, I think Nacho is going to serve a 3-match suspension, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think
And
in La
then-
Liga it's just one, and the rest depends on the disciplinary committee if they decide that extra punishment is needed.
Okay. At least that's maybe hopefully good or not. I don't know. Considering it's a second red card, I think it might not be too good as well because they might want to be, some punishment there. But whatever
And
the point is,
also the fucking watermarks on every fucking stream. What was that? What was it? Hashtag what? I forgot. Play with merit. What was it?
Earn it on the pitch.
Earn it on the pitch.
Yeah.
So you see the campaigns are already underway. So should we expect much sympathy from La Liga? No, I don't think so.
I just like to point out that the referees are handled by RFEF, not La Liga.
Oh yeah, RFEF. My bad. Yeah. Go on, Farouk.
Yeah, I mean, the point is right now it's looking really bleak because like our only other option is to play Chouameni, and it now comes down to the fact that Tony Rudiger has been phenomenal, and you're just relying basically on just that one single entity. Anything happens to him, and basically, we collapse. And the point is, you guys were saying at the beginning is that the team with the least amount of senior centre backs available has the best defensive record in the league. All of that is, in my opinion, down to the imperious form of Tony Rudiger. And if this guy goes down with a suspension or whatever, which we know Tony Rudiger also is bound to make those drastic decisions one way or another. So it's really important to see what happens at the turn of the year, because I don't think this can continue. We definitely need to find someone that's gonna come and be an able deputy to this guys, honestly, because this is just it. Like, imagine someone gets 2 yellow cards in the space of the round of 16 or the round 16 and the quarterfinals. You go into the second leg of the quarterfinals or the first leg of the semis, and you have to play, I don't know, Chouameni or maybe even, someone from the Fabrica, I don't know, maybe Toni Kroos starts to become a centre-back as well. These are things that needs to
Tony Cruz as a centre back. I wish I died before that happens.
Well, Farouk
honestly,
said that
'cause-
with a straight face. Can you imagine?
yeah.
I mean,
like
this is the thing. Like, I mean, the point is, okay, who are you gonna play? That's the thing. Like, who's
no
gonna
idea,
come in and
honestly.
play? Like, that's the thing, man.
Honestly.
I mean, if
with
Nacho gets
Casemiro, at least we had a guarantee, right? A minimum 6, a 7 at centre back, right? Like we can
I don't know, Mansonet, carving are my surprises. Or, I don't know, Carvajal. I've heard Carvajal might play centre back, so.
Carvajal has shown himself that he can do a job.
Carvajal has actually ended up playing centre back in certain games. Like, not started, but like ended the game as a centre back.
The only one I remember is the Chelsea one. I think they were like him, Nacho, and Alaba were like 3 together. So I don't really know.
Even against City, remember Mo? He was
No.
deep in the
not
trenches, no?
Not against City.
No?
No.
Maybe my memory's
So
flushed.
that's the thing. Like, it's looking really bleak. And like just the rush tackle of Nacho, which basically was totally uncalled for. Like, there was no danger, there was nothing there. Like, obviously, like, yeah, he didn't go into the tackle with a malicious intent, but it was something that was a tackle made out of carelessness.
Starts up. Man,
That's
unacceptable.
The thing, a player of this caliber of experience should not be making this kind of challenges. But then again, you go like, you see even people like Sergio Ramos keeps making this way, always making that kind of challenges. But it's, as I said, it's totally out of character for Nacho, at least. Not something I expected from him. But yeah, again, it's just, further highlights the need for a full reinforcement in the winter. But then I heard we're getting 1 billion euros into the club, so maybe we can look at some centre back with that one.
Well, the Super League, I'm pretty sure we're going to have some, Super League dedicated episodes. My personal, I know you guys discussed about it, kind of touched upon it in the preview, but I would like to put out my, thoughts on it. I was initially a guy who was all for it, right? Like we can really try to make a difference. But the more I look at it, man, being public enemy number 1, I'm not a fan of. Like we have already enough reasons for people to hate us. And this will be some hell of a reason that we can't really redeem ourselves with. But Farouk, do you have something to add?
Bro, we're not in the business of making friends. We're in the business of playing beautiful football and winning trophies.
This was
100%.
exactly what I thought Farouk would say.
I know you know all about the business, but yeah, man, for me, just I don't know how to feel about it.
This is the thing, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you have to be prepared to be enemy number 1. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but all through the game, especially in the second half, all the chants were like, fuck Real Madrid, fuck Real Madrid. From the Alaves.
See, let me ask you more. You're the guy who has who is right on with all these stuff, right? The technicalities, let's just say. Like me, I just gloss over it, right? I'm a surface level guy with technicalities. But let me ask you this, yeah? So I heard in commentary, right, that if Girona wins the league, they really can't partake in the Super League. Is it true?
Okay, the Super League, I think they released a format today. I guess this is a preliminary format or whatever, because the names are horrendous. Blue Star, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's fucking primary school shit.
But I'd just like to point you guys towards okay, if Girona win the league and the Super League comes into fruition, which I don't think will be happening in the near recent times, they will probably get an invite to go into the 3rd division of the Super League. So they have to climb up from there to go to the top division, which I think a lot of people have a problem with. But I think when you compare to what happens in the EuroLeague, you have to get a license and approval from other teams to join the EuroLeague. It doesn't matter if you have won your own domestic league. So I guess that is better in a way. But when people say that champions should be getting a direct spot in the top tier of European competition, I can understand that they have a point. But then as a Real Madrid fan, I have to understand why Florentino Perez is chasing this one, because I think he wants to ensure that the Real Madrid as a club is sustainable in the future, competing against oil clubs.
But the public sentiment is going to be super harsh, man, because this is not a level playing field. Let's be honest.
I'll tell you something, today I was just kind of watching Mark Goldbridge because I wanted to see what you what you enjoy at your dinner time, laughing at United.
I don't watch him much apart from when United lose, but he's fucking hilarious. I gotta give it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he was telling his viewers that the Super League is gonna have like 4 divisions, 80 teams, and all that bullshit. So I kind of understand why people are like against Super League, because they are being fed misinformation. Essentially. So some of the sentiments probably right, but we also have to understand that a lot of misinformation is coming from the people like who are backed by English media.
But the simple thing is, Mo, if I may interrupt you, the simple thing is, if Girona wins the league, they should be playing at the top level.
I totally understand that. I understand the sentiment, and I'm saying, I'm telling you that is a very admirable sentiment. But when you look at what Florentino Perez is trying to do, is because you have to look at it from a point of view of Real Madrid. What you're looking from is a point of view of like football as a whole. But Florentino Perez right now is the president of Real Madrid, right? So he has to look out for the best interests of Real Madrid. So that is what he's doing.
Actually, I kind of disagree. I kind of disagree with Sunay's sentiment there. Like, the point is that even if Girona wins the league, you're winning the league 1 year and out of how many years? The work that has been done by the teams who have established order should always count.
But still, Farouk, they should be rewarded for what they did. And that is a tremendous feat.
They've been rewarded by going into the, I think, was it the Star League or the Gold League or whatever. They go into the third league. If you maintain the consistency of this performance, you go up to the first league. For me, my issue with the Super League is that it gives clubs like AC Milan, Barcelona, like an easy way out. Because the point is, we know it, like, basically just go back to 2014, Barcelona was at the top of the world. They made stupid decisions, and then now the Super League is going to bail them out. I mean, let's even go to, you come to Italy and look at teams like Parma. Parma was a team that had players that were worth billions of liras in the past, Now, basically, Parma was liquidated, sent to the second league. You look at Lazio, their stadium still has stickers from, the World Cup that was 40, 50 years ago. Like, these people should not get a pass. This is where I have a problem with them. The Super League basically is just coming and giving everyone a pass. You like the Premier League or you don't like the Premier League. The Premier League did a phenomenal job when no one was watching. I remember while I was younger in Nigeria, like, we used to watch Premier League for free. Now Premier League is the most expensive thing to watch in Nigeria. So, like, it was then, like, because why would I watch Premier League? Okay, like, yeah, our guys loved, Thierry Henry, Wanko Kanu was there, JJ Okocha was there. But no one wanted to watch that, because why? Why would I watch the Premier League? I'd rather watch Serie A, or later in the early 2010s, go and watch Messi and Cristiano. Case in point, I remember, I think, when the Super League started, I read about the fact that in 2014, 2015, 16, Real Madrid and Barcelona earned about 200 million euros from TV deals. The next best teams were Atletico, Valencia, and Sevilla, I think, and they had less than 50 million euros, which is about 25% of what Real Madrid and Barcelona got.
I think, Farouk, that is a very fair point. But the thing is, like, from that season onwards, the time frame you mentioned, that is when La Liga started collective bargaining, and I think you have to give credit to Javier Tebas for that, because Javier Tebas is the one who pushed through that deal. That is the reason why there is a single.
It's a bit more even now, you reckon, yeah?
Yeah, I think right now Atleti have been the biggest beneficiaries of the new TV deal, and they earn more money than Bayern Munich does from Bundesliga. So, I guess that is a fair point that, initially La Liga wasn't really doing this well, but they have changed their outlook, and the way they're like distributing money is a lot more fairer now. But I guess this is a part of a much broader conversation about Super League. I don't know if we want to do it today.
Yeah, but yeah, this was kind of, a deviation that I didn't expect, but I'm all for different interpretations of what's going to happen. I'm still on the fence. I'll be honest, because from the bigger picture, I guess football will be much more accessible to the general public. Go on, Farouk, if you have something to add.
No, I was just saying that it's perfectly fair to be on the fence, because I think this issue isn't resolved completely yet. Only like the step 1 has been completed, because the court has ruled that Real Madrid should probably UEFA shouldn't be punishing teams. That is my understanding of this decision. So I guess going to the decision, that was the only thing that I was worried about. I even told you guys after we did the last match reaction that I want to see what the decision is. If Real Madrid end up losing the case, probably we could be getting banned. So as long as that doesn't happen, I'm just like fine with it, and I want to see what Florentino Perez does on the Super League front.
There you go, man. I guess we have to hold our horses and see how this pans out, because I'm telling you, waging war against UEFA, like we had alluded to, is gonna maybe cost us our place in the Champions League if the Super League doesn't get formed and if enough teams doesn't come forward to join us in Barcelona. So it is really looking like we are at the crossroads of what our European legacy is going to be looking like. I'm not going to have kids, but the people who are going to have kids, they'll have to tell something about what they're going to look forward to, especially regarding European competition. I hope it's something beautiful, something more fair, like what Perez and what the Super League committee is putting forth. But yeah, Mo, you should have told me that you ran a poll, but I guess it's a good poll. I'm gonna leave out
I
the
didn't run a
results.
poll. I thought you did.
It wasn't me. Who did it then?
Then maybe Jacob.
I did.
Oh, Doris! My God, how can she do that? I have no idea.
I was thinking maybe Jacob was behind this when you said you didn't do it, but Doris, yeah, she got the spirit of Jacob.
Okay. Well, good stuff, Doris. That was a very good question. But yeah, people, what up? Do you think we'll get a new centre back in January? I guess that's a very warranted question. But I'm going to read a few of the comments before we kind of, delve into some of the positives, which were many. So, it's going to be, it's not going to be long. Malshida Vimukti, big up Malshida. He was mentioning thoughts about the Super League. It's not good. Doris, I didn't ask your opinion. Yeah, like what do you think, briefly, about the Super League? Are you for it? Are you against it?
I've no opinion. No comment.
No comment. Yeah. Okay.
I guess Doris and Farouk were pretty happy with the fact that it's gonna be free. Like I was, and you were free broadcast. I mean, who doesn't appreciate?
Yeah, she.
Of course.
She has grievances that some of the matches are not telecasted on TV in Croatia, which is a fucking disgrace.
Bro,
but
we have been sailing the high seas for centuries, man. We need to get on the right side of things.
I've been as well, man. Trust me. Deron, big up Deron, man. He was mentioning players look tired in this game. Big up Jude for taking 3 defenders away, so Lucas Vasquez can score the winning goal. Yeah, man. Jude Bellingham. Let's talk about him a bit. The thing with Jude Bellingham, even when on a night where he really doesn't have it in him to go the extra yard, he still manages to make some sort of a difference. I would argue that this was one of his Vasa games, in a Real Madrid shirt. He tried to get himself involved. He had a couple of good defensive actions, I must say, especially in our box as well. Like he puts in the shift. That's a given with Jude Bellingham. But again, yeah, man, him losing his mind a bit, like it's starting to get around the Vinny territory. I know the Vinny territory is kind of a stretch, but Farouk, is it time to be worried, or is it just Jude, getting frustrated?
No, I mean that's the hallmark of players that actually really good players. Like this is something to be expected. Like he's coming into the league, learning how what is and what is not of the league, and I don't think it's time yet to be worried. And as you said, it's a bit of a stretch to make the Vinicius Junior comparison, but it seems like that's what's going to build up again with that. But that's just the hallmark of every great player. As Mo was saying earlier, like they were costing Real Madrid. Although like what's Real Madrid's business with Alaves? Like basically like we're not even mates. Like we're not even neighbors. Like we're just people who happen to breathe the same air in the same country. That's just the thing. Like what's our business with them, Bo? So that's the same thing, like with great players like this.
That's a disrespect, though, Farouk. You gotta coat it with some sugar, or lube it up so that it doesn't sound as rough, right?
Bro, if I have to start coating Alaves with sugar, man, then I'm in the wrong business.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, but my point was just that like this is something to be expected. Like Jude will start to be getting provoked either by targeted by defender, and obviously it was there. Like you could see like the defenders obviously were targeting him and trying to get the reaction out of him, and even in the previous game as well, the fans as well, and like what is and what is not. So it's something that we should start to expect, and how he deals with that, all the time with Turbo. I think so far it's nothing more than a feisty midfielder in the ilks of And it's not something that we haven't seen from the likes of Steven Gerrard before, or even players like Xabi Alonso as well. Like this is a thing that we
Yeah. Or Xabi Alonso. Don't even start with Xabi Alonso, because I remember, he was the most handsome looking man on the pitch, but he would have the nastiest side to him. I just knew that.
Exactly.
He would just
Exactly.
leave, tackles on players like. I still remember, those images of Pedro rolling on the floor. Guys like Danny Alves, pleading for his life with a
Suraj,
crunching tackle from Xabi Alonso.
I would just like to say that it doesn't get much to get the likes of Dani Alves and Pedro, players from Barcelona to start rolling on the pitch.
Yeah, obviously you don't need much, but
you guys are forgetting the rolling on the pitch merchant Sergio
Luis
B.
Suarez?
Holy God!
Busquets.
I mean, Busquets is on a
Sergio
whole
B.
other level.
He breathes
Sergio Busquets is just.
Suraj, we're back to Sergio B after a long time.
Yeah, Sergio B. I missed it. It's just a positive place I go to. When he mentioned Sergio B, because probably it reminds me of Sergio bitch, but yeah, it is what it is, man. It's more often than not the way that Xabi Alonso basically leaves something on these guys. They just just sometimes the tackle is a bit much, and instead of diving, they're just crying in agony. It felt a bit satisfactory when we are getting thrashed sometimes when I was growing up. But yeah, man, I guess you have a point, Farouk. I don't know if we want to delve into it much more. If you want to add something with Jude, I wouldn't force you to, because this isn't really a conversation, right? Like,
No, I mean, I think Farouk has said like everything that needs to be said. I would just say that it does with the refs that we have in Spanish league, it doesn't it doesn't take much to get players riled up.
100%, man. Yeah, not one of his best nights, not one of his worst nights, but yeah, pretty average, pretty bang average for Jude Bellingham. Rodrigo Doris has been one of the shining lights in the past 3-4 weeks. Really, he tried his best tonight.
But his best, yeah, is a good way to describe it. Not a terrific night from him.
Yeah.
But also, I think it was also. It is a situation of until you see how it goes, it's difficult to actually know, what to do. So not to blame Ancelotti or anything, but we really missed striker. Someone's microphone, man. Someone is doing something. In the background.
Is it me or just people talking outside? Maybe it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just people. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we missed Hosalu up there, and I think it was maybe if it weren't for Nacho, obviously getting a red card, we would get a moment of Hosalu being up there with Brahim, but
Yeah.
unfortunately they had to switch, and that I think wasn't a great thing. I wish Ancelotti started him from the start, but it's revisionary. It's difficult to.
I'll stick with you.
know.
Brahim Diaz again, super bright.
Yeah.
Driving with the ball, he was at
Right.
least the most, the brightest attacker on the pitch. Like, where he tried to do sometimes everything on his own.
Yeah, and so far so good from him this season. I'm impressed, from the team.
Did you expect Brahim to really take center stage when we got him?
No, I don't think anyone really did, especially Milan fans. I see a lot of people are not happy with him. A lot of people would say that he was really really inconsistent, so that it was either amazing or horrible each game. So I hope we don't see that bad side from him yet. But it will probably come, and I guess we're gonna be having this conversation again. It happens for
That's-
every players, and we always are reactionary, and we always gonna, uh,
We're gonna take it game by game. You know how we do it, Doris, right?
you know how we do it.
But Mo, man, Brahim Diaz.
Yeah, I think I said it last week, right? This guy's handing me L's every game, so I guess Brahim is just doing that again. So then I think there's a lot of noise from your side. Could you?
Let me just mute it. Let me just
Yeah.
mute.
Yeah, so I think that's what I want to say. I think Brahim Diaz just keeps handing out L's to me, and I'm all the more happy for it. Brahim, do this more often, hand me out more L's, because I think Brahim Diaz is a player that I was very excited about when he came from City, and his first few games in the 18-19 season in the second half were like filled me up with hope. But then the next season, Zidane didn't really, I don't know, give him that many chances, and I think I was kind of expecting the same thing to happen to him this season under Ancelotti, because his profile is that of an attacking midfield winger type of a player, and I don't know if Ancelotti really rates that, or whatever his thoughts about that kind of a player is. But because with Odegaard, he didn't really give him a chance, and Odegaard decided to leave, so I wasn't really hopeful about Brahim either. But then at the end of the day, I think Brahim has taken it up to himself, and what has differentiated him from Odegaard is the fact that Brahim is willing to fight for his spot, and he has proven everybody wrong. In that everybody, I obviously count myself, and I think that I had doubts about his consistency, so I'm probably, I want to see how his season ends to be completely free of that doubt. But so far the signs are pretty good, and I think Brahim deserves immense credit for the way he has performed.
100%. Farouk, thoughts on Brahim?
Yeah, definitely. There is nothing to add to what they both said, and honestly, I think other than if not for the red card, I think Brahim wasn't gonna go off in this game, and honestly, he was one of the, as you said, like one of the most impactful. I think basically he was the most impactful offensive player there. It was just a matter of trying too much, but there was no alternative there. He just had to put his head down and get into situations, and I feel like the referee unfairly didn't call a lot of fouls on him, in my opinion. Well, yeah, Brahim just continues to defy the odds, and honestly, it just goes to show that when this kind of players, that if they find the right the right spots, given the time, they might actually come good, because let's not forget, Brahim is a player that's really, really highly touted, he's someone that City got from Spain, and we also paid around 20 million to get him, even before he was established at City, and then he went to Milan for 2 years and stuff like that. So I think the development the development has been going on, so maybe it's time that we're cashing at the right time. And I mean, the thing is that it's good for us as well, in the sense that even if you don't want to keep Brahim, his market value is going high. So in the summer, if you need to balance the books, it's all good. It's not going to be a situation where you have with Jovic and Mariano, where basically no one can want them, because there was nothing to back up there.
Well, I completely agree, man. I'm so glad that you guys are finally feeling up to Brahim, and how he is kind of proving people wrong. It's super wholesome. But Fran Garcia, Mo, you have always kind of backed him. Tonight again, I'm not gonna make a judgment. I didn't feel that he was anything special.
He put in a lot of blocks. He got a lot of ball progression.
Oh yeah. I remember that in the pen, in the D box, that he made a crucial block. Was it in the first half?
Yeah,
was it in the beginning of the second half? First half, right? Yeah.
For me, whatever I'm seeing from Fran today was I felt that he's constantly improving, because if you saw, he even took out in his man at one point in time and really dribbled past him. So I think this guy is slowly getting into his own. I think it's taking a little bit of time. For me, I've always said that Fran's best qualities are being direct, being physical, and initially, I don't know for what reason he wasn't trusting in himself, and I think now we're slowly starting to see him be the best version of himself, although I think there's a far way off from his best version, but he's starting to go towards that. And the thing is, with Fran, I also feel sorry for him sometimes, because what we said on the other side, there was nobody in the box to cross to, so even if he gets the balls in wider areas, he's not going to be able to put the ball in because there's nobody there. So I don't really know how to feel about that, but overall, performance, I was pretty I liked what I saw, but I think he has to keep on improving and show more.
Yeah, that nutmeg on. I'm not sure who was it. The substitute I think who came on for Alaves was pretty filthy. Where he basically had no no other option but to bring him down. Yeah, man. I didn't think it was anything special. I expect a lot more from front, but I guess your point that he has slowly kept on improving. Bit by bit, and hopefully we're pretty sure with Mendy's injury record, he's gonna be needed second half of the season, very very much so. Um, who else? Who else should we touch upon? Modric, Doris. Do we really? It was pretty harsh for him to be subbed off because of the Nacho Red. But Luka Modric, thoughts?
I don't know. I just think it's funny that every time we talk about him, I'm the first person you ask.
Because I have to, you're basically his rep,
I
man.
have extra knowledge, about Luca.
It's not extra knowledge. It's just right that you start off with him.
No, I mean, he's your compatriot, right? There's extra Luca love over there.
Yeah.
Well, he did all right. He had to come off, basically instantly after Nacho was off, so he didn't get to play the full match. But like I already said, I wish that we maybe play the 4-3. I felt like it was unnecessary to have both Luca and Tony in this game, but we move. As for the performance, I think he did all right, but there wasn't really much to work with. Having so many midfielders and no one actually in the box worked against us. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we should judge, their performance, per se, because I think it was I think this was a tactical issue, of the lineup and the formation. For this game.
Farooq, this is your moment. She set it up perfectly for you. This is basically a tap in. You just have to tap it in. The door is just it's on a plate. Yeah.
It might be on a plate, but it's a minefield. You're asking him to go against Modric.
But yeah, man. Farooq,
That's
Modric.
the thing, it's just the things that I said at the beginning, and there's no need to keep rehashing things over and over again. I just felt like again, it's a game where I don't know. It's either one of two things. Either they don't pass off detailed information enough for these people to understand, or these people just don't care about the information that they're being given. Or there's always a third option, which is that they're stupid and they don't understand shit. I believe that they're not stupid. So I think it's the second one or the first one. Either there is not enough information or these people don't care about the information that they're given. So this is the thing. But honestly, the game today, and I think someone in the chat mentioned it, it's obvious, you could see even from the first 20 minutes, the players were looking really, really tired. Honestly, yeah. I don't know why, but I feel like Jude and Rodrigo were really, at least that's the vibe I got. I don't know if you guys also saw the same thing, but they looked really, really tired, honestly. So I don't know, but they played, I think it was Sunday and today is Thursday, but it's something that we're used to playing anyways. But you can understand the fatigue there or lack thereof. But yeah, Luka Modric is Luka Modric doing Luka Modric things. He was unfortunate for him to be the one that was gonna go off, for the sub of the defender, but there was nothing else to do there.
Nothing special. It was the obvious, sub. But I really hope, man. Again, this is me just reiterating, going back on what I think. Luka Modric should have a big say in Vera fortunes. That's what I'm hoping for, and I'm pretty sure he will have a say. But yeah, man. Alluding to Thursdays, only one team in Madrid can really be comfortable playing Thursdays. We all know who they are. The less said about them, the better. But I guess that's pretty much it, man. Toni Kroos was decent. That's expected. His set pieces, man. I don't get it. I know it was a couple of yards off or a couple of yard shots. Sometimes you could give him the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't really going for him, but more often than not, I think, the delivery from set pieces has to be better. I'm not sure if anyone agree with me, but Luka Modric sometimes has a better delivery than Toni Kroos. arguably from corners at least. Like, am I the only guy who thinks that way? More like, what do you reckon, man? Like, Toni Kroos is.
The thing is about Luka Modric is the fact that Luka Modric delivered the cross for the Decima goal. And you know which goal I'm talking about. So the thing is, like, with that in mind, you always have this bias that Luka Modric is the exceptional corner kick taker. But
No.
I think, at least for me, it is like that. I will always have that bias. But for me personally, I think at some points in time, although Farouk might disagree with me, I think I have to trust the coaching staff. I think they see what happens on the training ground and they're probably making the best decision. So, if they decide that Kroos is the right guy, who am I to argue?
Wow.
It wasn't
My
great.
mom thinks so too. So
Oh, God bless
That's
you.
what
Doris.
matters.
Thank you. That's the thing. Even I know this. This is the point. Doris' mom doesn't watch football. Even she knows this. So it's not like rocket science to decide that Toni Kroos is a set piece taker. Like, there is basically nothing to trust there.
But there should be something to contest him, right? Like, I feel like, they should alternate or some shit. Sometimes I don't. It's not the perfect way to tackle it. But sometimes when I see that Toni Kroos messes it up, maybe probably Modric should have a go. But I wasn't really pleased. I was just maybe probably losing my mind that we can't really create something cutting edge, throughout the match. Maybe that was what was getting to me. But
I totally agree with you, Sven. Even that was what I was thinking. Like, I felt like, a player of Toni Kroos' caliber, like, should get better, because, like, the set pieces were just going and, like, basically they weren't going anywhere. I don't know if that's the right word to use. And I think we had just, how many corners did they have? 4, 3? I'm not exactly sure.
We had quite a few.
Yeah, but the point is, when in a game where things is not working out, you want this deliveries to, to reach the target, so at least you can create something out of nothing. But I think other than the delivery, I really did feel like Toni Kroos was really good today, at least in my opinion. But this delivery thing is actually something that needs to be fixed, as you mentioned. Maybe a rotation with Luka Modric, and also I'll give a shout out to Rodrigo as well. It seems to be a very good set piece taker as well. I don't know, but I just feel like any team that has Toni Kroos will always be the facto taker of the of this set pieces.
Yeah. I just hope we can really capitalize, man. I'm telling you, set pieces we have to be a bit more proactive, because in games, like you said, which doesn't really pan out the way you want it to, set pieces are your best friend, man. Like, especially again, second half of the season, I need to see more set pieces goals. Like one New Year resolution that I would like to forward it to Francesco is, man, guys, you need to work on your set pieces. I need to see more set piece goals. It's one thing that I would ask for, because one thing that we would win from that is a guarantee of winning more games. It's just simple math.
So, I'd just like to say
Simple
something. I was actually looking, I came across an interesting statistic. The thing is, like, when you get free kicks and corner kicks, there's only a 10% chance of it being a goal. So I think we tend to overvalue the value of corners and set pieces. I think today Real Madrid had, like, I was just looking at the stats for you guys. It's like 18 free kicks and 3 corners. So I think getting one of them to go in was, like, pretty lucky for us, the way I look at it. I think it was but then you also have a valid point when you say we want a better routine for set pieces, because sometimes it just feels like Real Madrid are missing a beat, missing a trick, with these corners.
Probably it's because the benchmark has been set a few years ago, but the personnel has changed, and we have to kind of temper our expectations accordingly. I completely get that, but still, man, I would like some better fruition, better results from all those set pieces we get. That's just me, man. But
I think sometimes you also
have a point.
The fact that we just had Rudiger for majority of the game, who could be a viable target. Although we also had Jude, but if you've seen the goals that Jude has scored from corners and set pieces, it has been he's been a second man, not the primary target. So for us having only Rudiger as a primary target, I think it is sometimes not really ideal.
I'll stick with you, Mo. Kepa, not really much to talk. He didn't really do.
I think we already discussed this, right? Ancelotti said that he's going to rotate till the Christmas to be in the Christmas tier, the spirit of giving, like you. So we will see what happens after the break.
What do you reckon? Who's gonna get the mantle? come
with Ancelotti, I'm not
Mallorca.
saying anything. No guesses for me because this Ancelotti
No
is a
guesses,
completely new Ancelotti. It's tough to predict.
Completely new Ancelotti. He has a clean shave. He looks fresh. I'll have to give it to him. But I guess the conversation is still open, people. But pick up every single one of you in the chat. 13 guys over here. Smash the likes if you haven't already, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel on the road to 2K, boys. But yeah, let me read out a few comments before we slowly start wrapping this up. Rajat, we were saying well, we only got one fit centre back and sort of a natural right back. That has been the reality, man. Not really any man of the match for me today. They were all quite shite. Gotta agree with you, man. Like there was a few standouts, but it wasn't really what we expect from an away trip at Alaves. Let's be honest, Alaves isn't.
I think Lucas Vazquez and Rudiger deserve some credit, no?
Yeah, 100%. There was some standouts, but we had to have much more, star performances. But last game of the year, I guess people's attention span is pretty weak for tonight. Rajat was also mentioning go and sign Varane back 6-month loan, though we are 99% not going to sign him back. What's it looking like more? Not highly likely, yeah.
I've heard that the rumor that came about him being considered was from Varane's agents offering them to Real Madrid. So I'm not 100% sure what is happening there. I think so far 2 people have reported that. One was Aranca Rodriguez, another one was Build in Germany. So let's see what happens. For me personally, I would be happy if they just bring in Rafa Marin. We just need to shore up because as we have always already talked about this fact that we need to cover till February, March, because at the end of February, March we're expecting Militao to come back. So there is no need to be signing players and overloading the position unnecessarily. So because if you want to sign value, the value is in the summer market. So let's wait until then. For now, just bring in somebody and get a cover.
Yeah, a stopgap. Build in Germany is trashed here, by the way. I wouldn't trust them.
I think the reporter who reported it, Toby Alton stuff is decent.
You reckon? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Sun was mentioning, cheer up, guys. At least our players aren't traveling next day, 10-hour flight after dropping points against the worst defense in Europe. Who is he referring to? Was it Barcelona? They won, right?
Barcelona. They had a game on Wednesday, and then today on Thursday they have a game in US. So in Dallas.
But they won on Wednesday, Joe, no? They didn't drop one.
Sorry?
They won on Wednesday, right? They didn't drop points.
Yeah, they won.
They barely won.
By the skin of their teeth, they were very close to losing or drawing.
But to me, that is that even if they won, it's kind of obscene that you're making your players play on Wednesday and then taking I don't know what X number of hours flight to.
It's all about balancing the books, man.
Yeah,
it's all about the money.
Xavi's hair gel won't pay for itself. They'll have to fund it. Rajat was mentioning, and this is the last year we need to have for Nacho. That's a bit too harsh, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty fucking livid when it unfolded. But yeah, that's a bit harsh.
I think Nacho will deserve a renewal at the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%. So does Vasquez. I really hope. I know it's not going to look likely with Vasquez, but I really hope he does get some sort of a renewal. Prince Arthur was mentioning, I like to apologize to Lucas Vasquez. I never trusted him and wanted him out of the team. He saved us tonight. Thanks, Lucas. That's what most fans has to go through. Almost every season they tend to doubt his credentials, and yeah. He steps up, man. He steps up. Marcus Winningham was mentioning, Brahim makes me not to miss Vinny. He's absolutely outstanding and really is stepping up. Yeah, man. It's a testament to Carlos, testament to this side that, arguably our biggest player, Vinicius Jr. being out really doesn't, fluster us, really doesn't, knock our confidence off. I really thought that we would be in dire straits. We really would be looking out for avenues that we really didn't have to go down in the first couple of months where Vinny was around, when he was injured. But thankfully, the team has been coping well, which I didn't really see coming. Not gonna lie. Raza was mentioning, do really rate Diaz. He's a good bargain signing. I guess he was mentioning about the centre backs. Ignacio Scalvini, we have to get for me.
I
pick up the chat again.
Not Ignacio.
My bad, yeah, Ignacio.
No, not your bad.
Gonzalez. Gonzalo Inacio. But yeah, man, centre back is something of a priority. This Nacho red card really drives that
So
home
then,
again.
now that we're in the topic of it, can we just see what the results of the poll were? Because
Yeah,
Doris,
100%, 100%, 100%. Do you think we'll get a new centre back in January? Doris had asked the chat. 77% said yes, which is very optimistic, not gonna lie. 11% said no, and 11% said Castilla promoted player. Well, from Castilla, after what I heard earlier in the day, I'm not sure, how likely that's going to be with Edgar missing with an injury. If I'm not mistaken,
Marvel is missing with an injury, I think. Edgar is also?
wasn't. If I'm not mistaken, Edgar was injured or is recovering. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll have to ask my
I'm pretty
Castilla.
sure Marvel got injured like recently. So
Marvel
he's
is
one of those-
injured.
Yeah.
Marvel is injured. But yeah, with with what we have on our hands, I'm pretty sure the board will have to do something. They have to get a body in, like what you guys have been, mentioning. But yeah, man. I guess it's time to slowly wrap up. I'll come to you, Doris, first. Final thoughts. Last game of 2023. How has 2023 been, and what would you ask of 2024 for Real Madrid as a Madridista?
Okay, so I did not expect us, with this in a season, first season without Benzema, that's the first thing to mention here, and then without Vinicius, and then without Militao, and then without Courtois, and then without Alaba, it goes on, and for us, in December with the last game in December being on top of the table, I'm more than positively surprised, but I didn't. It's always, kind of a double-edged sword because even having to be, positively surprised about things like that is its own story. But it is expected for us to have some difficulties. Losing Benzema, the first season without a Ballon d'Or striker. It is normal for us to have some difficulties, but all in all, I think we did more than well, considering where Barca and Atleti are on the table and how many points they have. I don't think anyone really expected Girona to be this strong, this far in the season or halfway through the season, and it'll be an exciting 2024 for sure. And in 2024, our first Champions League matches against Leipzig, and exciting. I hope we win that. I expect us to win that. So Champions League. I don't want to get ahead, of ourselves, but quarterfinal or quarterfinal seem already on the horizon.
Well, yeah. If the same question was asked about me, I would say, I want to win something big. But I guess Doris has her expectations, a bit tempered. Maybe she's being a bit more realistic. I have to really pick that up. But yeah, man, like what Doris said, we didn't really expect us to be sailing so smoothly, given what we have to face beginning of the season. But Farouk, man, thoughts so far in 2023? Couple of thrashings here and there, couple of big highs, 4-0 against Barcelona, Copa del Rey win, and all of that.
Copa del Rey win.
Farouk is gonna say we all are easily pleased.
If I must say,
Copa del Rey win.
God. It's not big, but I know we are clutching at straws. But 2023 wasn't great. We'll all agree to
I mean, it's not great, and like the Copa del Rey still doesn't change anything. It's still it was horseshit. At least it's still horseshit. At least from the footballing perspective. But Copa del Rey is it's not something that satisfies us at all, man. And as you mentioned, 2023 was after the highs of the 21-22 season, the 22-23 season kind of brought us down back to earth to understand how the level of our team is, and we get some reinforcements, and Jude has been a good reinforcement so far. We need some more, towards the summer of 24. Hopefully, a certain Nigerian can come and don the number 9 jersey at the Bernabeu. Well, more realistically, I need to hope we get the turtle, in the summer to at least, cement our team. But away from, the players and the personnel, I really do hope, we can, just bring something big home this year, either be it the league or the UCL.
There you go. Mo?
I think I agree with everything Doris said, and I was surprised by Farouk, not being too harsh. But yeah, overall, I think the team performed decently, although there was a big disappointment in the Champions League. But we got to the semi-finals with the team we had, despite the injuries that Benzema and everybody were having. This season with Jude, it's been a surprise. I didn't really expect us to be top at this point of the time, especially with how Girona have been performing and how we have this propensity to stumble at key moments, giving up very cheap points. But I think overall I've been pretty satisfied, and we'll see what 2024 brings. Hopefully, although I'm not going to go as strong as Doris and say the quarterfinals are on the horizon, because like I said before, for me Leipzig are a worrying opponent because the way they play. The intensity that they bring to the team, bring to the game. So I hope that all our best players are back and we can play the best of version of us against the best version of Leipzig. And
I'm sorry. I said I expect them to win against Leipzig.
No, that's what
I think anything less from a win against them is come on, man. Come on.
Now, my point is the fact that I have to be careful what I say about Leipzig, because for me, I think Leipzig are the worst kind of opponent for Real Madrid because of the intensity they bring to the game and the high octane tempo that they play with. So I just want to see how Real Madrid does in the round of 16. Overall, we all have big ambitions. Although personally I would want Real Madrid to win the treble, but I would be happy as long as we win the La Liga title. If it's the Champions League, even a bigger cherry on top. Copa del Rey with Real Madrid, I think that is the toughest competition to win. So I have no hopes over there. As long as
we don't want to win it as well. It's a waste of our time as well. It's difficult to win, and we are not interested in winning.
Simple as. But there you go, people. For me personally, right, La Liga is kind of a must win now, right? We have set ourselves, to be in this position. There's no turning back. If we, if we flinch, we know for a fact that Girona is breathing down our neck, right? Barcelona and Atleti are sooner or later, are definitely going to find their feet, and they're going to, grow themselves into, a position where they can challenge. I'm pretty sure, because 6 months, 7 months left in the season is a long time, and fortunes can topple, man. Like we can't really take our foot off the gas as well. And also, what this La Liga run in is going to give us is momentum, which I always stress. This is my hype word. Momentum is what I use going into every fucking big match, every fucking big run in. We need to keep our momentum intact. We need to carry ourselves the same way we have been carrying in La Liga. There might be games where we can't dominate, where we can't really capitalize on, the opposition slack, and we have to get the job done. I'm not asking for, purest stuff like Farouk does. I'm not asking for, any sort of a gala, right? Performance. I just need to get the job done, get the result on the board, and we move, right? So the fact of the matter is we're going to face much sterner opposition from Jan to May. It's a fact, right? So we just have to be on board. We have to buckle up and be ready, especially with so many of our starting players out missing. We really have to hone in on what we can capitalize on, what we can improve on, and this is up to Carlo and his staff. And so far, so good, man. Like it has been sort of reassuring compared to where we were beginning of the season. So I'm slightly optimistic. cautiously optimistic is my keyword here, that we can do big things this season. And boy, oh boy, I'll be, over the moon to celebrate 2 big titles this season. And man, if we win the Champions League, Farooq, hey, Farooq, Habibi, look at me. I'm gonna be coming for your blood clot, right? And the post match, it won't be like last time where I was kind of overwhelmed. I didn't have the energy to react, and you didn't have the energy to fight back. But man, on that post match, Farooq, bro, get ready, yeah, get ready. But big up the panel, man. Big up the chat.
Drum rolls.
Inshallah. Big up the chat, big up the panel. Hopefully, we all have a very good 2024. And yeah, man, we just have to, embrace ourselves with the challenges that we are, put forth. But again, big up all the people that, send us feedback in negative, positive, all of that. Big up people that, tells me every single time, every single week that, we really accompany them on drives, on morning jogs, on whatever it be. We just are there after a game, before a game, to just, yeah, man, basically share, what we as fans think, which I'm so happy that people like us can relate. But that's the very point of this podcast. And again, I would like to reiterate, this podcast is what this is, because this is a two-way street, right? Without this being a two-way street, we are just talking to the wall over here. But yeah, man, big up every single one of you who sends in messages. It really makes my day. Big up our team in Madrid as well. Big up Sid. Big up our little budding, little dream project that we're running, speaking to fans in Madrid as well. We'll be back in action, hopefully after Mallorca. We won't be there for Mallorca, but hopefully post Mallorca, we'll be, back to covering games in Madrid as well at the Bernabeu. But yeah, man, smash the follow on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well. Mo was reminding me that Apple Podcasts people should deserve much more love, and I'm here for it. Spotify just is what I've been used to saying for over 2.5 years. That's what comes to my mind first. But big up the people on Apple Podcasts as well, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. For people who didn't know, we're also on Amazon Music as well as of I think August 2023. But yeah, guys, smash the follow everywhere. It really helps. The algorithm really helps to, push us up, in Google searches and whatnot. But yeah, man, much love to every single one of you who has joined us on this journey on to another year. Hopefully, like the first one, where we enjoy some big success. Ala Madrid.
Ala Madrid.
Ala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.